What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, here to go ahead and finally use my man Magellan, which we were very lucky enough to pull in the latest Sugo Fest part that debuted, I think it was yesterday, as if you guys seen this video today. But yeah, we actually were lucky enough to pull Magellan, which was absolutely absurd. Got him on the 30 gem multi. I did upload that 30 gem multi to YouTube, by the way, if you guys wanted to go ahead and check it out. But before we get into the video using him in the 10-star difficulty garb challenges, let's actually go through what he does and go through, of course, his ink effect. So here's his ink effect level 2. It's definitely not my favorite ink effect in the game. I'd probably rate it maybe a 6 out of 10. I just feel like there's not really a hell of a lot going on. It would have been nice if they did something a little bit better. I think more smoke effects would have been super cool. But either way, if you have Magellan and you really like him, you can go ahead and use your ink bottles on him. He does look okay, I suppose. But let's go ahead and break down what he actually does. So Magellan is a super quick character, shooter, powerhouse. His captain effect will boost quick characters by 5 times when you've got 70% or more health remaining, 4.5 times otherwise to those quick units, but then still boosts all other types by 4 times, so that's still great. But then you have a 1.3 health boost, and then you reduce paralysis by 10 turns when you're inflicted with it, so great captain effect across the board there. But then there's also this added effect that says you heal 25% of the damage that you took during that stage when you move on to the next stage. So when you have double Magellan, it means any damage you take, you get 50% of that back every time you move into a new stage. It's very useful to have, trying to maintain your high HP so that your captain effect is at 5 times as much as it possibly can be. Pretty good captain effect. Magellan's special ability maxes at a 14 turn cooldown. I believe he does get an additional 1 cooldown when you limit break expand him, but it reduces all enemies health by 10%, that ignores all defensive effects, and then it reduces bind and burn by 3 turns, which is actually very good for these garb challenges, as you guys will see in this video. It will also go ahead and give you 2 times color affinity for 1 turn as well, and then applies a toxic effect to the enemies, which can cap out at 3 million damage. So very similar to the original Magellan giving toxic. But then it has an added effect that says that if this character launches the special and the enemy is already inflicted with any type of poison, you get a 2.5 times attack boost instead. Now this is not a conditional boost, this is a regular attack boost, but it only activates if the enemy has a poison effect on them. It's a really cool effect, but obviously there are downsides to that, with the fact that if they have a poison immunity or if they have a full immunity, then you're never going to get his attack boost, which does really suck. But then having a look at his super type special, which in order to activate it, you do need certain characters on your crew. You got Hannibal, Shiryu, Domino, Sadie, Cell Death, Boa Hancock. Also, you've got Sengoku, and then the 3 original admirals in Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru. So you got an okay pool of characters, not the best, but you do have a pretty decent pool of characters to choose from, especially from the Ace versus Akainu batch. There are a couple of good units in there that can help you proc this super type. But then his special, when you use the super type special, will go ahead and remove all of your poison on your crew, and then it'll go ahead and heal 25% of the damage that you took during that stage when you move on to the next stage. So meaning if you have double Magellan and this super type special active, you can heal 75% of the damage that you took in the stage when you move on to the next stage. But that does not stack, of course. You can't stack multiple of these super types. And then obviously we'll go ahead and make your quick characters into super quick characters. And then obviously the big thing about Magellan and why he's really powerful is he's the first legend in the game to have double special activation, which is super key because it means you can launch his special twice in the same turn, meaning that you can get the color affinity, the health cut, the utility, and also the ability to get the 2.5 times attack boost just by himself. Really good kit of character here on Legend Magellan V2. But anyways, now that we've done all that, let's go ahead and take him into the brand new content with the 10-star difficulty garb challenges. Alright, so first things first, we're going to take on the Enel Garb Challenge with the Magellan, of course, and one thing that I found with Magellan is that he isn't super ideal for the Garb Challenges. On paper, you'd think that, you know, with his captain effect and the continuous healing, the super type special granting healing as well, you would think that he's going to be really good for these Garb challenges, but the really big problem arises when you have a look at his special, because the special ability, you know, you want to be granting poison to the enemy, and unfortunately, a lot of enemies either have a full immunity buff, or they actually have poison immunity on these Garb challenges, which does make his special a little bit less useful than what it really should be. I mean, outside of these Garb challenges, Magellan is going to be a very powerful unit to use, of course, but yeah, poison immunity will specifically specifically the toxic immunity, and then also full immunity is obviously going to be a pretty big downfall for Magellan's activation for his special ability. But talking about the team as a whole, taking on the Enel Garb challenge, obviously with the Enel Garb challenge, you have to bring a character that is able to get rid of special bind, as well as having fear resistance, and in this instance here, Karasu was the best choice for our team. We've also got the pudding support attaching to Nami, attaching to Sanji. Sanji's going to go ahead and have that pudding support to remove that stun, so we're able to remove all the debuffs on the final boss stage, and we are using the Zunisha ship, which allows the special ability of Sober Mask to grant us a full board of matching slots, because remember, when you reach that final boss stage, all of your characters are inflicted with the fear debuff, meaning that Sober Mask's special ability to grant you the full board of tandem slots, they're not actually going to be counting as beneficial for your team unless if you have some type of way to make them beneficial, because the crewmate abilities are turned off. So in this instance here, we have the Zunisha ship to make those matching for our team, which is great. Now you guys saw on the stage prior to this one with Wiper, where you have stage 3, the guy that gives you that burn, typically a very annoying stage, but we're able to use the Magellan special to get rid of that burn, which is great. And of course, even if he did survive up until turn 3, he gives us paralysis, but remember that Magellan's captain effect resists 10 turns of paralysis, so we don't even have to worry about that stage either. Just all in all, Magellan absolutely deals with that stage no problems. And of course, if you're building a quick base team for these Garb challenges, Shanks Crew is always going to be one of those characters that you may want to be bringing, because that switch ability is ridiculously useful to grant you essentially half of your board of matching slots guaranteed every single turn, and giving you the 1.5 times attack boost, which is also a huge beneficial effect to be bringing. And that special ability is so strong, granting you that 3.5 times chain lock. Like honestly, I feel like Shanks Crew is never going to be considered a bad character. Just having the accessibility that he has, it's just way too good. But in this instance here, on this stage with Shura and the other guy, we get special reversed, and I felt like I wanted a way to guarantee us a way to kill that guy on turn 1. So bringing speed to give the cooldown reduction to our crew was a really good choice. I had like a filler unit that I needed to put in there. Speed fit the build quite well, allowing us to use the Sober Mask special on that stage, and of course with his crewmate effect, we're able to generate his special back very quickly. And then the second last stage, of course, we have this guy, we have Gidatsu and Ohm, and these guys give you bind to your bottom row, and I wanted to make sure that I also had Magellan special ready for the final boss stage so I can get the color affinity boost from him. But also the fact that he has double special activation means we can just launch a special here if we want to, and they all get inflicted with the toxic. It would be ideal to obviously use another special here so that we can go ahead and just, you know, get the attack boost against them, but it wasn't too bad. We can just use the Shanks Crew switch effect and take our time with killing off these guys here. But of course, once we do that, we'll be able to move on to the final boss stage. We have a 3.5 chain lock, we have a 1.75 attack boost, and the 2 times color affinity. We have our full board of matching slots. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. Very comfortable team actually for taking on this particular Garb challenge. So now we can go ahead and turn our attention to the Navy Garb challenge. Now this honestly was the most difficult team to build for, I think. You could probably optimize this one a little bit more, but I just kind of like threw together some units and it just ended up working. And I definitely, one of the units that was really good for this team was obviously Shanks Crew once again. And Shirahoshi Mancherry is obviously a great unit to be bringing in a lot of these Garb challenges, of course. But that Shirahoshi Mancherry having the ability to remove hunger is one thing, but also for the healing capabilities and the debuff removal, it's very, very good. But you see that we're also running this really random ICKY character. He's really good for this Garb challenge actually, because he removes damage threshold when you launch his special, and it works very well with Magellan because if you use the special ability of ICKY and your captain is either shooter or a free spirit character, he gives your shooter and free spirit characters a 2x attack boost for 2 turns. So that's obviously a really nice addition to not only remove that threshold, but give you an attack boost for it. And the added effect of bringing ICKY is that we're able to launch the super type special of Magellan. Now, I don't know specifically if we use the super type special of Magellan a lot for this particular Garb challenge, but definitely for the Hody Jones Garb challenge, we really abuse the super type special of Magellan. It's very, very key that we have that active. So we're going to be taking our time throughout a lot of these stages here. We're going to be mainly going ahead and using the switch and special ability of Shanks Crew to give us a predominant damage increase against the Kizaru stage. Kizaru is just super annoying, and it's always the case with this Navy Garb challenge, dealing with Kizaru, because obviously type disadvantage is a thing. So that's always going to be an annoying thing to take on with any quick team for these Garb challenges, but luckily enough we did still get the job done, which is pretty awesome. One of the great components of the Navy Garb challenge is the fact that once you get to that stage 6, you can actually have quite a lot of time to just stall on stage 6 after you kill Fujitora and you deal with him, which is exactly what we do in this situation here. And as I kind of touched up on earlier, Magellan does kind of struggle to get through these challenges a little bit just because of the amount of immunity and poison and toxic immunity that you'll be encountering throughout the run. So that really does suck, but it's still an absolute joy to use a character such as Magellan. And of course I will be uploading a separate video further on in the future, likely in the next day or two, talking about like a showcase video, him against some regular content to show off some of his other abilities that he's got access to. But either way, as we said, we're going to be going ahead taking on Kizaru here, and it's a little finicky how we do it, but we're able to do a decent amount of damage turn 1. Unfortunately don't get the KO. We are going to be blinded, which does suck. I decided just to opt to use the Shirahoshi Manchiro special to get rid of that blindness, give us the chain boost, which actually doesn't matter because we got the chain lock, but also go ahead and give us the full border matching slots, which is great. And once we move on to the stage after that with Fujitora, we are able to use the Luffy Law special for a huge orb boost. We use the switch effect of Shanks Crew, and that's basically it. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to use the Magellan special once again because it doesn't give you any ability to inflict toxic to the enemy against Fujitora. Obviously a huge downside there. So you'll see just against these particular Garb challenges, just Magellan just super annoying to use. But obviously with his really powerful captain effect and the fact that there's a lot of really good quick units in the game these days, it does make Magellan a little bit easier for using in these Garb challenges. But honestly, after using Magellan, I found V2 Kaido to be infinitely easier to use as a quick captain for this content. So I would suggest, if you have, quick Kaido, to just use him instead, because the ability to just inflict a little damage on yourself from the enemy and then just hit back, inflicting them with normal attacks, not normal attacks only, but increased damage taken, and then the full board of matching slots, I found to just be an infinitely easier time rather than using a team such as this. But still a very, very fun team to use nonetheless. But I'll leave you guys with this clip and we'll pick things up with the final Garb challenge of the video. And now we go ahead and move on to the final challenge of the video versus Hody Jones. This was another really finicky team, but luckily we did get the job done. Now we're using the Big Mama Chanter here, which is a really good ship actually. It boosts the attack of Strength, Dex, and Quick, so obviously Shanks' crew in his Shanks form is not going to actually get an attack boost from it, but the fact that if you hit 3 perfects, it gives you a 1.65 times attack boost, which is just insanely good. It does kind of suck that Magellan doesn't have like a really good dedicated ship to use. I mean, technically speaking, you can still use the host ship, you can use Moby Dick still if you want to, I guess, but you could potentially use the Bezin Black. The Kuro ship is actually a really solid option as well if you're running mono quick. The Koi ship, I guess, but none of these ships compare to like the Liberal Hind or the Aura Jackson. Those ships are just so powerful that whenever you use a ship that isn't that, it just absolutely sucks. But Big Mama Chanter is actually not a bad option because you can generate recovery slots in certain instances, which can be kind of useful, and the ability to just get the 1.65 times attack boost after 3 perfects. And you may think it's probably not that big of a deal, but you know, it actually does make a pretty big difference, because without it, I don't know if this team is actually able to clear the final boss stage, as you guys are going to see. But finally, the super type special of Magellan actually coming in clutch here to remove that poison that Hyozo inflicted to us. So we're able to remove the poison, and any damage that we take on this stage, we're going to be healing back 25% of it. So with double Magellan and the super type special active, we heal back 75% of the damage that we would have taken, or that we did total take on that stage. So we're able to get back to nearly full health at this point. And we have this stage here with Dosun and Zio, who have the threshold, and this is where we're using the Kuzan once again to get rid of that threshold and to give us an attack boost to our free spirit and shooter characters. And we're able to use the support of that Akainu there, which is really good. That's the Kizuna limited rare recruit that attaches to the Admiral characters, and anytime they use their special, you get a 2.75 times chain lock. And we are using another chain locking support on this team as well. There aren't many in the game, but we're using 2 of them on this team, which is going to be the treasure map rare recruit Sangoro, which attaches to Komurasaki, and when we use the special of Komurasaki, we get a 2.75 times chain lock. So we're using Komurasaki on the final boss stage to give us a chain lock, a 2 times attack, and a 2 times orb boost to our quick characters. And just with that alone, that is going to give us enough damage to clear it. And of course, we still have to try and get matching slots, because Komurasaki does go ahead and give us a full board of quick and int slots. So you know, you could technically just keep resetting the game until you get a full board of quick slots, but ideally, another way to do it is we're going to be using the switch effect of Shanks' crew and the special ability of Bobbin to remove the defensive effects off of the enemy, and those specials and switch effect together will give us a full board of matching slots. So we'll have all the slots, we'll have all the boosts, and with that ship active, as we said a little bit earlier, to hit 3 perfects to get the 1.65 times boost instead, it does just give us enough damage to get over Hody Jones, which is actually pretty impressive. Stage 6 here is also really annoying against Daruma and Ikaros. Just those really annoying high HP Dex enemies are such a pain for these quick teams to get through. They just don't have like really good units you can use in order to get through it. Technically, I guess you could use a dual unit such as I guess Luffy and Ace, or something like, Gin and Krieg, for example, could potentially work, allowing you to get that strength character to do a bit of extra damage towards him. But anyways, that is going to wrap up this video today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.